Hi there, Kia owners. Today we're going to be taking a look at the best hitch options for your 2020 Kia Sportage. Here on top we have our hitch from Draw-Tite, and down below we have our hitch from Curt. Now there's quite a few similarities between the two, but we're going to cover the differences first. One of the biggest differences between these two hitches is going to be their weight ratings. Our Draw-Tite here is going to have the highest weight ratings with a 675-pound tongue weight and a 4,500 pound gross towing capacity. Our Curt's only going to have a 525-pound tongue weight and a 3,500 pound gross towing capacity. To take that even further, our Draw-Tite is going to be rated for use with a weight distribution system, whereas our Curt is not. Now the weight ratings are going to remain the same when using a weight distribution system with our Draw-Tite, but having the option to do so could make a big difference depending on what you're planning on hauling. Having a weight distribution system will allow you to take the weight that's sagging down the back of your vehicle and redistribute it to the front axle, so you can level your vehicle back out. Having your vehicle sag down in the back due to excessive weight will cause a loss in steering and handling performance due to the geometry of the front tires. Leveling it back out will return the geometry of those tires back to their factory ride height, which will restore all that lost performance. This is going to be particularly useful if you're planning on using a small pop-up camper or something like that with your Kia Sportage. You can get a weight distribution system installed with it, which you can purchase here at etrailer.com, and you won't believe the difference on your ride quality and how much easier it is to handle your Kia when hauling a heavy load like that. Another difference you'll notice is that our Draw-Tite has a small hole just to the rear of our hitch pin hole. This allows us to use a J-pin with our Draw-Tite, which is similar to a hitch pin, but it has one side that wraps around going in, giving it its J shape, and the part that wraps around will go in this hole, pressing against whatever's in the receiver, acting as an anti-rattle device. So it's nice to have that extra option, especially if you've got an extra J-pin laying around. If you need a J-pin, you can pick one up here at etrailer.com. Our Curt just has our 5/8" hitch pin hole, but we do have plenty of anti-rattle options here at etrailer.com that you can purchase that do not require that extra hole for a J-pin. Our Curt features plate-style safety chain loops that are horizontal with a mediocre size opening. Now the opening is large enough where it should work with just about every type of safety chain that you're going to use, but on our Draw-Tite here we have a much larger opening that will guarantee that our safety chains are going to connect. Our Draw-Tite also has plate style, but they're going to be vertical, so they are going to hang down a little bit lower, which means that this hitch is going to be closer to the ground, so you are going to have a little bit less clearance on the bottom of the receiver with this hitch. Our Draw-Tite also features a wiring bracket that is pre-welded onto our hitch's cross tube, and this gives us a location where we can easily mount our wiring externally, so we've got a nice solid connection point that we can just plug our trailer into. This gives us a cleaner install if we are adding wiring, because without it, you either have to purchase an additional bracket separately, or your wiring would just be run over and it would just be hanging down. You might use your dust cap on your wiring to hook it onto your safety chain loop. And lastly, these two hitches are going to look a little bit different when installed. With both of these hitches, our cross tube will be hidden completely behind the bumper, so you're only going to see the receiver tube sticking out the back. So you're looking at about this portion here. So really it comes down to which style you prefer better, this style of receiver tube or the look of this style's receiver tube. One small note for our installation on our Draw-Tite hitch, it doesn't say in the instructions that you'll need to trim your undershield, but having installed both of these hitches, on our Curt hitch this panel went right back up no problem, but on our Draw-Tite here the cross tube sticks out just a little bit and it contacts this paneling, and I was not able to get it reinstalled without cutting out a notch for the receiver tube. Now it wasn't difficult to trim out, and it's tucked up underneath the vehicle, so you're never going to see it, and it's just an appearance panel, so it's not going to affect your vehicle really in any way. And it may not be necessary to trim it on all vehicles. It's likely dependent upon the trim package that you have installed. One of the things that could be an issue with our Draw-Tite is that our vertical safety chain loops here do hang down below our receiver, which could impact your clearance to the ground a little bit. Our Curt here has horizontal, so it's going to be flat with the bottom of our receiver, so we don't have that loss of clearance that we do here on our Draw-Tite. You can see here that our Draw-Tite safety chain loops are going to hang down about 2.5 inches lower than the bottom of our receiver tube. So you will take that into consideration. It's really not going to be a huge factor unless you're planning on going down maybe some trails or anything with your Sportage. Not like crazy trails, but maybe slightly off-road, maybe to get to your campsite. There could be some potential issue with clearance there. Now we went over the differences as far as similarities. They're both going to be Class 3 hitches with 2" by 2" receivers. So they're both going to be great for just about all of your towing needs. The installation is going to be very similar between the two. They both will just attach to factory weld nuts on the bottom of your frame. The only small difference in the installation is that our Draw-Tite here does have one less bolt that holds it on, but it's really not a big deal when it comes down to it. It's just one less bolt that you're putting in. So when it comes down to which one I would recommend, I would go with the Draw-Tite. Our Draw-Tite has higher ratings than our Curt, and one of the things that I like about the Draw-Tite is the 675-pound tongue weight. Our Curt's only got 525 pounds, so if you were looking at using a bike rack or a cargo carrier, you might run into some issues, because a lot of cargo carriers have a 500-pound carrying capacity, but you need to factor in the weight of the cargo carrier as well, because it is rated based on everything in our receiver tube, which would include the cargo carrier into that weight rating. With 675 pounds here, we could easily load up those cargo carriers to the max and know that we're not going to be exceeding our hitch's weight rating. And lastly, the reason I would choose the Draw-Tite is the wiring bracket that's pre-welded on there. It's going to give you an overall cleaner installation if you're planning on adding wiring. And that completes our look at the best hitch options.